Yeah, Tyson Fury's pussied out of the Usyk fight, hasn't he? He's pussied out of the fight, man. We knew it would happen, didn't we? We knew Tyson was going to pull out of the fight, you know, against Usyk. You know, he's tried to put out this little bit of sparring footage, you know what I mean? And it's just ridiculous, isn't it? He's tried to put out this footage, you know, of him like sparring and getting elbowed like that. But you can see from that elbow, yeah, that it don't even land on the eye. It lands on like the cheekbone or the chin. It doesn't land on the eye at all. It's fake. You know, it's staged, it's scripted, innit? He didn't want the Usyk fight here, so he's putting out this little bit of grainy footage here. Why is it being recorded, you know, with a low quality camera? It's being recorded on a phone, you know, from like 20 years ago. You know, in this day and age, who records that kind of low quality, grainy footage these days? You know, on their phone. It's fake. You know, they've done it so we can't really see the blood. You know, from this dodgy footage here, you can't see any blood. And like you can say, yeah, but you can see him getting elbowed. Yeah, but he didn't get elbowed in the eye. And like, you know, this wrestler called Lex Luger back in the day in the WWF, he used to have this metal plate, you know, in his elbow. And his like trademark move, yeah, was an elbow. He'd like hit his opponent, you know, in the face, you know, with his metal elbow, and he'd mess him up. That was his trademark move, yeah. But we know wrestling's scripted and, you know, it's fake, it's staged. And that's what's happened here, you know, with this little fake elbow. You know, that Tyson Fury got hit with, it's fake. You know, like Lex Luger. And like, you know, these wrestlers, they like use razor blades, you know, to cut themselves, you know, to make the cut look convincing and real. And that's what's happened here, you know, trying to pretend like you got a little cut in sparring. It's so staged, man. And like, you know, that photo of him with that little cut, you know, you get some idiot saying, oh, it looks like a genuine cut. It looks genuine. It looks genuine. It's not genuine, man. You know, Bruce Lee, yeah, he was in this really good film called Enter the Dragon, you know, one of my favorite films of all time. And you know, Bruce Lee, he has a little fight with this guy called Han. Yeah, and this guy called Han, he was like into like drugs and prostitution and, you know, like extortion and all that. So he got his hand cut off, you know, by the ops. And he had to have like a metal hand put on, you know, with like sharp blades. And he like sliced up Bruce Lee, you know, with his blades that he had on his hand, you know, and Bruce Lee got cut up, you know, from those blades. And like, that looked real. And that was like in the 70s. Enter the Dragon was made in the 70s. So that's like over 50 years ago, you know what I mean? So in this day and age, 2024, of course Tyson Fury can put together a little photoshopped image, you know, of this little fake cut of his. Of course he can. Even in Rocky, you know, when he fought that Ivan Drago, you know, that was in the 80s, you know, and they had cuts and bruises and it looked really convincing, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? And that was like 40 years ago. So, you know, in this day and age, it's not really that hard, is it? You know, to put together a little photo, you know, with a little fake cut on it that looks convincing. It's not a real cut, man. He didn't get elbowed in the eye at all. It's a setup. You know, it's a staged elbow, you know, like Lex Luger in the WWF, you know, with his metal elbow. So, yeah, man, we kind of knew it was going to happen, didn't we? And like, you know, that photo of him with that little cut. Where's the video of him getting stitched up, you know, at the hospital by a nurse? Why is there just like a still image photo of the little cut, the photoshopped cut? And you see that little guy in the background, you know, pretending to be all upset and distraught, you know, biting his nails. You know, why is he conveniently in the background biting his nails, you know, to try and add a bit of authenticity, you know, to this little fake injury of Tyson Fury? You know what I mean? He's stood in the background, innit, looking all upset and that, you know, with his arms folded, like, biting his nails, like, oh, I can't believe it, you know what I mean? Why is he conveniently being put in the background like that? It's fake. It's a setup. He didn't want the Usyk fight. You know what I mean? You know, Johnny Nelson, he kind of said it as well, didn't he? He kind of said that Fury's been getting messed up in sparring and he's been getting dropped and manhandled and all this stuff and he hasn't got it anymore. You know, and it kind of suggests that he had a point. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury got rid of that Jay Opataya, you know, because he was fucking up Fury. So Johnny Nelson, you know what I mean? He had a point, didn't he? And it's like this footage here as well, like where's the rest of the video? Where's the whole video of the spar? Why have they conveniently only put out the, you know, the little bit where Tyson Fury gets elbowed? Where's the rest of the footage? Where's the whole spar? Like, we don't even need to see the whole spar, but like show us at least 3 minutes, you know, like a round of sparring. You know, why are they conveniently only putting out the little bit where Tyson Fury gets elbowed and then walks towards the camera, you know, in a scripted fashion? Where's the whole footage? You know, if you put out the whole footage, at least we can say, yeah, they were sparring and then that happened at the end, but they've only got that little bit there, that little clip of him getting elbowed. Put the whole video out. If you want it to be genuine and sincere, put the whole spar out so we can see it all unfold. Don't just put out a little bit, a little scripted bit where it looks like you're getting elbowed in the eye, so you have to conveniently pull out of the Usyk fight. It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? It's obviously a setup, man. But yeah, this footage here, it's like low quality, innit? It's like blurry, it's not clear. You know, Bend Over Son. You know him, you know, when he gets his fighters sparring, he like records, you know, in HD, you know, high definition quality footage, you know, so he can sit down with his little team, Barry Smith and Lee Wiley, and they can go through the spar and see how his fighters performed in the spar and see what they need to work on, look at their strengths, their weaknesses, you know what I mean? You know, Bend Over Son. He's quite meticulous in it, he like drills, you know, with his fighters. I've said it before, he drills over and over again, so he like records the footage, you know, in HD. He's quite meticulous in it, that Bend Over Son. You know, I said it before, you know, a bit like Dr. Dre, you know how he gets his artists to repeat the same lines over and over and over again, you know, until they get the lines perfect. And you know, Dr. Dre, he's been working on this album for 15 years called Detox. But he won't put it out, you know, because it's not absolutely perfect. You know, and I'm not saying that that little Bend Over Son is on the same level as a Dr. Dre, but he's kind of meticulous in a similar way as Dr. Dre's, you know, it's got to be absolutely perfect. So he won't be recording sparring, you know, in this kind of low quality, blurry footage. So this is fake. They just use blurry footage as some old camera phone, yeah. So he conveniently can't see the blood. There was no blood, man, it's a setup. It's a setup. He didn't want the Usyk fight at all, did he, Tyson Fury? You know, and now he's got an excuse, you know, to avoid Usyk. You know, Carl Froch kind of said it as well, didn't he? He said his fight with Ngannou, you know, he was throwing less punches, he was feinting a lot less than he's done in his previous fights. You know, he got knocked down by Francis Ngannou, didn't he? You know, who was making his professional debut. You know, the so-called #1 heavyweight, you know, getting dropped by a guy making his debut, Francis Ngannou. So Carl Froch kind of said it as well, didn't he? And he said like his best wins are against Deontay Wilder. You know, and we've seen Deontay Wilder get fucked up by Joseph Parker. And you can say, yeah, but that's boxing don't work like that. Tyson Fury might have took a lot out of Deontay Wilder, and that's why he performed like he did against Joseph Parker. But Deontay Wilder's never been good, man. These little fights that he's had, you know, where he's fucked his opponents up with that big right hand, he was behind on points anyway. You know, he was never doing well, Deontay Wilder, in his fights. He just managed to pull that right hand out of the bag, you know, to get the victory. So he's never been good, Deontay Wilder. So Tyson Fury beating him twice, getting a draw with him, it's not that impressive, is it? Who else has he beat? Klitschko. You know what I mean? He fiddled about, you know, ran around the ring, kind of pussied out, just fiddled about, you know what I mean? And beat Klitschko on points. But then he conveniently avoided giving Klitschko a rematch, you know, and retired, claiming mental health issues, you know, so he didn't have to fight Klitschko again, you know, and give him a rematch. So when you look at Tyson Fury's resume, like, you can't be saying, oh, Tyson Fury's the Lennox Lewis of this era. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking dumb. You know, we knew he wasn't the Lennox Lewis of this era. You know, he don't want the Usyk fight either, does he? You know, we can have a go at Joshua, can't we? We like dissing Joshua, but at least he got in there twice with Usyk. You know, even though he got fucked up, at least he got in there with Usyk, Joshua, twice. But you know, Fury, he don't want it at all, does he? And like, you see how Tyson, like, when he gets hit with that elbow, he like walks up to the camera, you know, like he's trying to show people like, yeah, I've been caught. But you won't do that. Your natural reactions, you know, to getting hit with an elbow like that, you like stop, yeah. You like say to the sparring partner, like, what are you doing? Why are you elbowing me, man? You know, I've got a fucking really big fight, you know, for the undisputed heavyweight titles. You know what I mean? And then he'd go to his trainer. Why would he walk to the cameraman? Like, what's he gonna do? You'd walk to the trainer, innit? You know, like to see like if there's a cut, you know, to see if there's any kind of blood and that. You'd go to the corner, you know, and get your eyes sorted out and, you know, discuss what's gone on and what shall we do? What's the damage? Is it bleeding or what? You won't walk straight to the camera, would you really? Yeah, it's fake. You can tell this is staged. This little sparring partner of Tyson Fury as well, like, who is he? He's a paid actor, that's who he is. Because like, you know, if he was like a genuine sparring partner, yeah, of Tyson Fury's, you know, he wouldn't have thrown that elbow because he knows, yeah, he'd probably get sacked. And these sparring partners, they probably get him more for sparring Tyson Fury than they get paid in the actual fights. Because these little sparring partners are nobodies. So why would they jeopardize, you know, paydays, sparring Tyson Fury, you know, just to throw an elbow and get sacked? It's not realistic. This whole thing here is just a lie, man. It's all fake. You've got to read between the lines, man. So these Furies, they're not as tough as they make out, man. They're not the fighting, bare knuckle, tough gladiator warriors, you know, that they try and make out. Like, you know, Carl Froch has been having a go at that little John Fury, hasn't he? And like, you know, John Fury, you know, when he got interviewed, yeah, he was asked about Tommy Fury. He was asked if Tommy Fury is going to take professional boxing seriously, you know, try and win the British title, the Commonwealth, European, and then try and go for world titles. And John Fury was like, well, he probably won't go down that route because he's getting paid so much, you know, to fight these YouTubers. So it don't make sense him fighting for a few little poxy grand, you know, at the York Hall for an English title. You know, it makes sense for him to have YouTube fights, you know, and get big paydays, you know. And then later on in the interview, John Fury said, oh, we're not interested in YouTube fights, you know, and he was asked about fighting a few little YouTube boxers. So 1 minute he's saying, oh, yeah, it makes sense for Tommy Fury to go down the YouTube route for a load of money, but we don't want to get involved in YouTube fights. Which one is it? You see what I mean about these Furies, man? They're all over the place, aren't they? They're fucking inconsistent, man. You know, and we're kind of seeing that as well with Tyson Fury, you know, conveniently pulling out of the fucking fight with Usyk. It's fucking pathetic, innit? But yeah, what do you think, man? Let me know in the comments, innit? But, you know, if you got a brain, you can read between the lines and see that it's all a big setup. You know, Tyson Fury had no intention of fighting Usyk, did he? He had no intention at all. But yeah, that'll do anyway. I'm going to wrap it up, yeah. Thanks for tuning in again, yeah. Thanks for that.